We feeling good?
No. Why do you always ask that?
I just feel like we
feeling good.
up, we're ready to go. Yeah.
No, we're not.
What can I do for you guys?
All the last 15 minutes does is make us talkative. So then we just talk. It just makes it longer because Andrew's gonna give some long ass monologue.
No,
you and I.
today I'll be good.
I'll
be good. I think I'm gonna get through my list in 10 minutes. Honestly,
this might be a half hour pod because I just don't see this taking a ton of time. But I've said that before,
which I think is a good thing. We need to change a pace. We need a not 2 hour long.
What can I do for you guys?
You guys should have told me that beforehand.
You got your anecdotes today.
I imagine hot dogs are a big part of his fault. What can I do for you guys to make you feel good before we get going?
Please never say that sentence to me ever again.
Just start.
Yeah, just go.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we're going. All right, welcome back to List Night. This week, we're going to be doing fall activities. As always, joined by my boys, Andrew and Thomas. My name is Griffin. Another episode. If you're watching us on YouTube, we're at the beginning. Click that subscribe button. Click the like button. Leave a comment below before you even have any real comments to give. And if you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or anything like that, click the follow button so you know when our next podcast coming out. We release these weekly. Do we release these weekly? Bi-weekly?
That's being generous.
Thomas with the pterodactyl sound.
I do like the idea of people commenting before they watch because I think
they should.
I think it'd be funnier insults, but less personal, so I won't cry as much.
Well, first off, I'll say if you want to leave insults in the comments, you're more than welcome to. We will not delete them. But beyond that, you should comment before you listen to our picks. If you are watching us on YouTube right now, you should leave a comment of what your 5 favorite fall activities or best fall activities would be. That way, you don't get any bias coming from our choices. And then, after the fact, maybe your list is better, maybe our list is better. Who's to say? Our lists are going to be better. We're the ones at the podcast. But do it anyways. And if you want to let us know on Twitter, send us your 5 favorite fall activities on Twitter at List Night or on Instagram at list.night. I think we should just jump into it. We're gonna do a really basic white girl pod this week. So I don't want to focus too much.
Hold on. Have we looked into, I never thought about this. Have we looked into what motherfucker has the List Night Instagram account that we have to use list.night on Instagram?
They don't use it. Yeah, they don't use it. I think they made their account and I remember looking at this, and I could be wrong. I could be thinking about
was it one of us?
No, it wasn't one of us. But that's a good thought. I think the only reason that we have at List Night is because we made it in 2011. And Andrew, I think I got to give you credit for that. I'm pretty sure you made this account many moons ago. Yeah, it's like so many other things where somebody makes an account in 2013. They follow 6 people and their last login was in 2014. But you can't request people's accounts unless you have a friend at Instagram or a Twitter or whatever.
Yeah, it's like when Thomas bought all those or not bought, but made all those Twitter accounts for Washington football team names that they might use, but they would never use because there's
still a chance.
Pretty sure some of them have typos in them.
You have DC Football Club or something something that
I have use. And then I have DC Warriors.
I mean, DC Football Club in a world where maybe just like LA has LA Galaxy and they have LAFC, there's always the possibility that there will be a team outside of DC United. Obviously, it's not as big as LA, but maybe if soccer gets really huge in the nation's capital, maybe there does end up being a DC Football Club. And then 20 years down the line, they're going to reach out to Thomas and be like, look, dude, we're just going to get this account. We're not going to pay you for it. Twitter's going to be on our side.
I don't want money. I just want you to throw games to the Eagles for the next 6 years.
Yeah, I think
you want the DC soccer team to throw games to the Eagles.
Yeah, there'll probably be a team next to the Eagles.
Oh, okay. I'm not really following your logic, but I'll take it. It's fine.
There is none.
Yeah, I don't really know where to go from here, so I'm just gonna jump into it as we like to say. Our order this week: I'm gonna go first, then Andrew. Tom's gonna go last, which, as you may have heard last time we talked on the pod, kind of sucks because Tom usually does his best work when he leads off. So by the time we get to Tom, he may be very over this process.
He's gonna be half
might not
asleep.
be here anymore.
Yeah. And we said that this was gonna be a quick one because I mean, fall activities. Really, what are we doing, guys? This is what we've come to. Just doing seasonal shit. Whatever.
I like you said we're just gonna jump right in, and then
I'm going.
You haven't jumped.
I'm jumping. I'm leaving. I gotta
skip.
You ever seen
go.
like a movie or a TV show where there's like a wide gap that someone's got to leap across, and they've got to work themselves up to it. I got to work myself up to jump into things. I'm not Neo in the Matrix. I can't just do that shit. Number 5 on my list of fall activities. This one, speaks to you guys a little bit. Brewery trips with the boys. And I want to be very clear about this. Brewery trips with the boys can also include the girls. You can. There's nothing preventing this from being a co-ed experience with all your friends.
I mean, the title is preventing it.
Yeah, like the boys. You could just say brewery trips, but you're specifying brewery trips with the boys.
Brewery trips with the boys. Let's keep it 100. Because I'm going there with the girls too. But I'm there to have a good time with the boys. I'm there to talk some shit, have way too many beers, make the girls drive us home. Let's keep it a buck. I'm there to do it with the boys.
Yeah, this just sounds like you're like, I just want to go with the boys, but I guess the girls can come if they drive and if they take me there and back.
Which in my case, they always have to drive, but yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like I guess I'm not around for these, or neither you, Griffin. So
neither am I. Yeah,
but I feel like when we did go, it wasn't really the girls driving because the girls usually drink more than us. Oh, maybe not more.
Again, in my case, it was always the girls driving.
That's fair.
And it depended. It was pretty dependent on if we were doing like a Virginia brewery or if we were doing something like closer to our parents' houses, because that's like, not too hard to like just grab an Uber for or something like that. But yeah, there's just something. It's a big friendship activity. Just hanging out with your boys on a cold fall day, drinking, wearing flannels, being white.
We are white. I get it. I enjoy breweries, wineries, distilleries, and fall is a good time to do them.
You're adding to that one a little bit, a little winery distillery action.
Oh yeah, I mean, unless you're 3 and 4 winery and distillery.
They're not.
You said brewery with the boys and meant brewery with friends. So I'm saying brewery with the boys, and I mean brewery, winery, or distillery with friends. So
let's just expand it to drinking with my friends on a day when I don't go to work.
They make it.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's cold, maybe it's hot, maybe it's fall, maybe it's
it can be a day I go to work.
That was going to be my only pushback, is that I don't know if this is necessarily a fall activity. I'm not saying that it's not a good thing to do in fall. It is very much a good thing to do in fall, but I have something on my list that's similar, but it's much more fall related. So I win.
Okay, so we're not on your list right now, so shut your mouth. I would say that my preference, and I'll straight up say it, I'm not a big fall guy. My preference for drinking at a brewery with your friends is going to be, nice temperate fall weather, not too cold, not too hot. And fall fashion is just better than like summer fashion. So I'll have a better time.
You're not a big fall guy because you're scared of heights.
Ooh.
I thought you were going to say, are you not a big fall guy because you can't see the leaves changing? To which I would have answered, that is the reason. And also, I don't like Halloween, and yeah, it's like one of the biggest parts of fall. Let's move on.
Do you know what you're wearing? Orange and black right now?
Is this orange? I actually don't think this is orange.
Is it red? Okay, maybe.
I think it's
Andrew's
my
colorblind.
Yeah. Andrew's colorblind. Welcome to the show.
I'm in the club now. I'm in the club.
Yeah, it's not.
I don't want to be in.
Color. You guys, my eyes are better than yours.
It's red. Red's a Christmas color, right? Red and green.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. I know colors. I'm good at stuff. Number 4 on my list, one that I think will speak to everyone, and probably the majority of the people that are going to listen to this, knowing who's going to listen. Living on the couch and watching a ton of different sports. Fall, in my mind, probably the best season when it comes to sports. You've got football right in the swing of things. You've got October baseball playoffs and the World Series. You've got hockey starting up. You've got basketball starting up. I'm not a huge college football guy, but college football is like in the middle of their season already. College basketball will be starting very shortly. If you're into a bunch of like individual sport, there's a ton of stuff going on in this season as they lead up to the end of the year. It's just like the absolute best time. And, you know, you wake up on a Saturday morning, you watch a bunch of sports, you stay there till Saturday night, you watch a bunch of sports, you do the same thing the next day, and then you roll into the work week realizing that you have just wasted your weekend. And you don't mind it.
Yeah, this is a good one. I agree. Fall is probably the best season for sports, especially like right now, the October timeframe where the baseball's in the playoffs and football season's in full swing and basketball season and hockey season just started. And yeah, I mean, college football, if you're into that thing more than I am, it's a great time for sports. It's a great time for sports.
It's good to know that we have the exact same opinions on every sport.
My pushback against this is just like personal. I don't typically watch sports all day long. I can't. I just like even Sunday for NFL football, like I'll watch the 1 o'clock games or I'll watch the 4 o'clock games. If I'm watching all day, it's because I'm somewhere watching it. I'm not on my couch. And that's the other thing is if you had said like I used to have a TV on my back deck watching sports outside, I'd be all for it. But to me, like, and it's my list, I'll say right now, my list is all outside stuff because fall is outside.
Yeah. Well, to your point from last week or 2 weeks ago, I'm not sure, when you asked, how are you the fat one, considering you're the one doing like active, like outdoorsy shit, and I'm the one absolutely living on my couch. Again, I still don't know the answer to that question. Life has really kicked you in the dick.
Yeah.
just
no arguments here.
Yeah. That's where you're at.
Well, let's all right, get so a food Andrew, list, and I think we understand.
Oh, we should have another food list again soon. I could eat.
I will say Thomas has a point that I think activities that are outside in fall give me more actual joy, whereas like sitting and watching sports all day like gives me like temporary happiness or just frustration and sadness, and then at the end, it's not as memorable when you look back on a previous weekend as like doing something outdoors in the fall. So I get that point of view, but I think it's good to have a mix of both.
Yeah,
I think it's fucked up that you put sitting on your couch alone watching sports.
I did not say alone. We
know it's alone, Griffin. We know it's alone.
You didn't say with the boys.
Yeah, you would have said with the boys if it wasn't alone.
With the boys is below sitting alone.
With the boys featuring the girls.
You guys absolutely know how active I am in the group chat. If I am on my couch doing literally anything, in my heart, the boys are there all the time.
I know. Honestly, like, I want to limit you on messages. Like old school, you only get 100 messages a week,
I would not use them well. I would blow through 98 of them on like the first day of the week, and then I would just like pop in to give like 2 weekly updates. Which might be better for the group chat.
Yeah, healthier for all.
Definitely healthier for me. Definitely healthier. Big time codependent. Let's move on before we dive too deep into my emotional issues once again.
We never will. We never will. I have no interest in that.
Yeah, it's true. That's fair. Okay, I was going to disagree, but I don't know if that's fair. Number 3 on my list. Get a little sentimental with this one. Not with the boys. This one's with the family. Family trips to the orchard. Back home in Maryland, Montgomery County, the personal one that we would go to was Butler's Orchard. We did that, as kids, and honestly, growing up, the trip gets a little bit different as you get a little bit older because you're not doing like the wagon rides with your family or anything like that. But you're picking out pumpkins, you're getting hot apple cider, you're taking nice family photos, and you're just having a good time with your family, just enjoying the fall foliage and enjoying the cold weather and supporting a local business and having a great time. And then you'll probably fight in the car on the way home, but that doesn't matter because you had a great time with your family.
Yeah, can't really push against this one. Love Butlers, love orchards in general. Love family too. Let me put that out there in case anyone is listening. Good Christmas gifts this year. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, that's my sentiment too. Love an orchard. I'm a little bit distracted because the Chiefs are losing 24-0, so I'm sad. But I do like orchards. Yeah, good.
Let the record show that Andrew did not mention loving his family. Let the record show.
He did not, no.
Steve, if you're listening.
And I thought there'd be a little bit more pushback just because it's one of my picks. I thought you'd be like, nah, we hate both family, trips, and the orchard.
No, we love your family. We love your family.
I think this is the problem with doing fall activities is there's like about 6 or 7 like stereotypical fall activities. So I feel like there's gonna be a lot of overlap on these lists, but maybe I don't know.
So far, no.
We're doing this for our white girl fan base, which is again mostly us.
One, Elliot.
Yeah, just a pumpkin spice list night.
Oh, I'll tell you right now, there's no pumpkin spice on this one. But if I could have an honorable mention,
I would push back.
Consuming pumpkin-based things. You can honestly
just
do that.
Eating pumpkins.
Eating pumpkins. just peeling them out and eating them. Number 2 on my list. This one. What's up?
Nothing. Go on.
All right, I'll go on. I was kidding. Number 2 on my list, to the surprise of nobody, buying bulk loads of discounted candy. And obviously then eating said candy. And people are going to push back and they're going to say, Griffin, you hate trick-or-treating. You hate Halloween. You don't like doing the whole like candy thing. You are right, loyal listener. I do hate Halloween. I do hate trick-or-treating. I think going to all of that effort to acquire candy, having to spend all that time out at night with a bunch of little kids, not worth it. And I say that even when I was a little kid, not worth it. I would rather go to a Walmart or a Target and just buy a bag of Halloween candy. And then for very little money at all, I have candy for the next month. I didn't have to walk anywhere.
The way you said like walking around at night with a bunch of little kids, it made me think that you were trick-or-treating like last year and that's why you hated it because you're almost 30 and you were.
You had one bad experience last year.
Last time I went trick-or-treating, I was probably 12, and like the last time that I wanted to go trick-or-treating, I was probably like 5. So 12 was forced on me. And I was done with it as soon as I could be, which again, I'm sure is going to get me a lot of pushback because what child has that opinion? It was just never my thing. I didn't like it.
But in terms of, like I feel like the first week of November is like Christmas for you when it comes to candy. You're just like discounted clearance Halloween candy. Yep.
Hog heaven, baby. Yeah. Just every single year, go to the dentist. I don't go to the dentist every year. I should. And they're like, man, interesting how often these cavities occur right around Thanksgiving time. There's a reason for that.
I think they know. I think they understand the reasoning behind.
Well, they probably assume that.
I don't think it's a mystery to them.
They probably assume that a 29-year-old man is not still this obsessed with candy. But I very much am. I'm a chip guy and I'm a candy guy and I'm a coffee guy, and all 3 of those.
Not
things.
Much else.
Yeah, that's my diet: coffee, candy, and chip. The big 3.
My pushback is that I'm not like I like candy, but not like you do. My other pushback is you thinking that someone out there who's listening is like, oh, I know Griffin doesn't like Halloween. This pick doesn't make sense. No one knows you, man. No
of everyone that listens to this, which is our social circle, I would guess at least 75. I would guess at least 75% of them. Fuck you. I would guess at least 75% of them know that I am not a Halloween guy. I am not quiet about it. It'll be the middle of May, and I'll be like, you know what I don't like? Halloween.
Every week / every other week / every third week, however often these go out, I send a text with the timestamps so people know when to skip. All right? They don't know you, man.
Yeah, I just assume everyone fast forwards to me or just turns it off after I'm done. So
I gotta imagine that
to all of us.
If Thomas is first, they're listening to the first person. If Thomas is anywhere else in there, they're opening it up, they're clicking the mute button, and they're walking away until it plays to the end.
I assume that they watch the intro and then at the end.
The intro, like the starting soon screen or whatever, or like where our logo's up there, or
when you're like, let's jump into it, and then you listen to the 30 seconds, and then you start the intro, and then they skip.
I mean, honestly, and this is I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, which may surprise a lot of people that are like Griffin. Stop starting podcasts then.
Griffin doesn't like Halloween.
You should start a Halloween podcast.
I should start a Halloween podcast. I don't know what I would talk about. It would be really aggressive. All Fantasy Everything pod that I like a lot, and I recommend to everybody. They ramble on about their lives. It's like 2.5 hour episodes. They ramble on about their lives for maybe in some episodes the first full hour, and that often ends up being the only hour that I listen to because them just going off the cuff and just talking shit. Love it. Then they start getting into their actual draft picks, and I'm like, oh, I could just do this on my own podcast. Like, what am I? What am I?
You're saying what we do on our podcast is what you like least about your favorite podcast.
Yeah, you're like the worst part of this podcast. Let's start a podcast based on that.
Yes, 100%.
And the first part of you just listening to them, it sounds like you just want to be there and be friends with them. Like you just want friends.
I do.
So you're just listening to other people be friends with each other, and you honestly are probably talking to them during it. You're like, Is
that not why people listen to podcasts so that they can like insert themselves into random friend groups that they'll never be a part of?
But nobody says it.
Like everyone has. I will
imagine
the parasocial relationship that occurs. I'll acknowledge it.
Yeah. I don't think people insert. I think they imagine themselves.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's why this podcast is not that popular, is because nobody wants to be virtual friends with us, which is,
or
real friends.
Or real life friends. Yeah, it's not just virtual. Let's move on to number one before this gets progressively darker. I thought this was going to be like a fun light episode for the friends, and there's been a lot of bullying so far.
Are we on one?
A lot of self-directed bullying. If I'm being honest. Yeah, we're on my first. No, this week I did not miss one.
Okay.
Last episode I did in fact skip one of my picks, and that was embarrassing. A little egg on my face.
Who knows which number? Because no one cares.
No one cares. Yeah, I'm not going to win. Tom's going to win. Number one on my list, one that I hope speaks to all of us or to you guys. Tailgating a football game, college. Preferably, but NFL too, if it's a place that allows tailgating and encourages it. It's just the best thing you can do. It's just fucking a drunken weekend with your friends, and I don't really care about going to the actual football game. I'll be completely straight up about that. I just want to hang out in a parking lot and be a belligerent drunk with a bunch of my friends and eat appetizers the entire day, and then potentially wander around a college campus. Not required, but it's a good end.
It's a good pick. I wouldn't put as much emphasis on the college. You're getting a little too old for that much emphasis on it, but good pick.
There's a lot of college fans that are going to be very upset by you saying that.
I figured you were attending an NFL game. I figured you were tailgating like an NFL game, and then you still wandered over to a college somewhere nearby.
I feel like if you tailgate an NFL game, there is a much bigger expectation that you actually go to the game. And that just could be my own bias because the team that we grew up near is the Skins, and their football experience is just awful. So I don't want to go tailgate a Skins game. I don't even know if people tailgate Skins games. Is that a thing?
I think they do because there's literally nothing else to do around there.
So
parking lots as far as the eye can see.
It's just an awful experience all around.
I'll say most of the time I go to NFL games. Most of the time that I tailgate NFL games, I am going to the game because I'm not near a team. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to Philly to go to the game. I just tailgate before.
Sure.
Or like when I went to MetLife, it was the same thing. So I understand what you're saying. I don't know if I'd say that it's more likely you're going to the game, but maybe it is. But no, tailgating, I fucking love tailgating.
Yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one for sure.
I'll take it. All right, let's give a quick recap, and then we will move on to Andrew. Number 5, brewery trips with the boys. Number 4, living on the couch and watching every sport that is on in the fall. Number 3, family trips to the orchard. Number 2, buying bulk loads of discounted candy. And number 1, which I could see being other number 1s, we'll see, tailgating a football game. Andrew, all you.
All right. Yeah, let's get into mine. Definitely some similarities between mine and yours with some subtle differences. So my number 5 is the one I was talking about earlier, which is similar to the brewery with the boys pick, although I did not specify with the boys for any of my picks. I welcome
It's
all.
because you're not sexist.
Yeah, exactly. I welcome all to come join me at all of these activities.
I was very clear that with the boys is a borderline gender neutral expression. All of my friends are
Borderline.
I think you're okay. All right. And my number 5 is an Octoberfest festival. Like, and it not like literally go to Germany and do Oktoberfest. I would love to, but I haven't done that. But I just mean any sort of like beer fest type gathering that is fall inspired, and usually it's like branded as an Oktoberfest. It usually consists of some pumpkin and or fall type seasonal beers, which I'm usually a fan of. And yeah, it's just a good time, especially when it's like a indoor outdoor type place where, you know, you're getting a little bit of indoors, getting a little bit of the outdoors. It's great.
Oh, is that what you're doing at an indoor outdoor?
Oh yeah.
I love this pick. It almost made my list and it got just bumped. It'd be like probably 6 if I had to put it on. But yeah, fall is the best time for it because the temperature is just right. And yeah, good pick. I support this more than I support most of Griffin's picks.
Thank you.
I too enjoy an Oktoberfest. Not something that I do very often though. I think kind of one of those things that I pretty much only do if somebody has already like pre-established a plan for it and is like, hey, we're as a group doing this on this weekend. It never really like occurs to me until, you know, like months later or something like that would be a fun thing to do during the fall. So yeah, a great time, but not something that is a regular enough part of my fall activities.
Yeah, that's fair. I think Oktoberfest too, like they can be big and small. Like a lot of times it'll just be like a bar that on a Saturday in the fall will be like Oktoberfest weekend or whatever at this bar, and it's just, you know, whatever, you know, they might have like ciders and fall beers and stuff like that. So yeah,
I guess I was thinking more like a beer festival, like in Nats Park or just like in the field and a bunch of breweries type things set up.
Yeah, see, I'm back on my bullshit. I'm encompassing all of this. It's all into the one word of Oktoberfest.
So less supportive. I like the general idea you got going on here, but yeah, you're just pissing me off with your bullshit.
His all-encompassing picks that are like a million things at once. Does it occur at an orchard next to a football stadium too, so you can do everything at once?
So my
candy
you're a shithead.
My number 4
people also wearing costumes.
Well, I mean, why wouldn't they be? It's Halloween.
It's just all of fall. Anything from September 21st to December 21st.
Got to make sure you got your candy when you go to the Oktoberfest.
My number 4 is actually very simple. It's only 3 words, and I've only discovered it pretty recently. Honestly, I don't know why I haven't before, but apple cider donuts.
Oh yeah, huge.
I don't know if this is an activity, but I guess me just eating an obscene amount of them is the activity. But yeah, I've had some apple cider donuts the past couple falls that, top tier donut.
Oh, yeah.
And I look forward to them.
Yeah.
Number two donut.
What's your number 1?
Oh, let's save that for another list. But it's jelly.
That's okay.
It's jelly.
I was going to be really frustrated because I'm also, to the surprise of no one, a donut guy.
Of course you are. Anything that makes you unhealthy, yeah.
Yeah. Anything that'll kill me quicker. I love this pick. Much like my feelings on a lot of like pumpkin things, I'm also a big apple cider guy and apple cider flavored things. Apple cider donuts, definitely a top tier donut. I do love, the only pushback I'd have, you know, obviously it's better to have them during the fall season. But at this point, like everyone realizes how much people love apple cider donuts. So if you're going to like a bakery or like a bagel place or anything like that, at this point, they just have apple cider donuts all the time. So you can kind of get them whenever. But definitely in the spirit of the season, they're great in the fall.
You can also get candy whenever and go to breweries whenever.
Can you get discounted bulk candy whenever? Because I said discounted
February 15th, April, after Easter.
Oh, that's true. Easter. Yeah. See, Easter, I didn't think of that one because Jewish. Passover's at the same time. Can't eat any of that shit.
No, those apple cider donuts we had upstate when we went with Aaron at that orchard.
Big money.
There's
Didn't
also
we? I
some
think
really
we went
good
back
ones
for
by
more.
me.
I bought some and then I
Probably.
went to buy a
We are
second
donut
thing of
people.
them because I was like, I'm gonna go through this like way too quick.
We're donut people.
I
Yeah.
don't regret
unhealthy.
my foods that make me emotionalist, but I think if I expanded it out to like 10, apple cider donuts might be on there.
Fair enough.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough.
We can always double down on that list and foods that make us emotional that we missed.
Yeah, there's plenty more foods.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I could have gone
There's
on
at least
endlessly.
5 other places I could eat hot dogs.
We've probably spent more time talking about food on this pod than anything else.
Yeah.
That and bullying. Food and bullying are a big two.
Number 3, Thomas is gonna be pissed, but I'm moving my number 1 down to number 3.
Just
right
don't
now.
tell him. Just
And
do it and don't tell him.
it's partly because I'm just mad currently, and it's football. So football's moving down to number 3 because the Chiefs fucking suck right now. So it's only number 3. It's not number 1. And I know you're gonna ask like what I mean by football. I think I'm gonna be on my bullshit and just say all the football activities encompassed together: watching football, tailgating for football, maybe playing football. Not really that, but you know,
this is just super dicey to me.
I don't
Like,
care. Fuck you.
Like, if somebody were to say fall activities and you were to say football, they would then ask the follow-up question of watching football, playing football, buying a football.
Yes.
Like what?
God damn
Andrew,
you. If the Chiefs were winning, and let's just remind that they're not, would this still be your number 1?
I think it still would have dropped down to number 2. Like I'm looking at my notes and I had it written at number 1, but the more I think about it, I wanted to put a couple things higher. So
no matter what, you're a prisoner of the
never
moment.
matters.
Why even put things in order?
No, I'm admitting that I'm acting with my heart here and not my head. And I am currently upset about football, so I'm not gonna rank it as high.
You got so mad at me the one week where I was like, I'm not putting these in any order. This is essentially just a bulleted list, which again still includes the word list, so that we're clear about that. You got so mad at me about that. Yeah. But if we go back through the episodes and we were to like actually talk about how often you change your picks, your numbered lists are essentially bulleted lists.
I feel like I don't change mine that much. I've changed mine maybe 3 times in the history of the podcast, and it's
That's
just like
not true.
And it's like moving one down one place, and it
moved 2.
You've definitely moved things from like number 2 on your list to not on your list during the course of the pod.
Yeah.
Which is a jump.
Lists are fluid. What I will say is at least I'm not bulleting them. At least I'm still numbering them. I'm saying that football, I'm specifically moving down, not I'm moving to a different bullet that's the same value. I'm specifically moving it from number 1 to number 3.
You picked this number 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it started off as your number 1, and then if the Chiefs were winning, it could have been your number 2. For all intents and purposes, you essentially are bulleting this one.
But again, let's move past this bullshit he's doing and back to his other bullshit of just saying football and then saying watching, tailgating, just the sport itself, just the item, anything you like.
The item
football,
I like
this
looking
pick,
at
it's
football.
I think his pick is a football. His favorite activity is a football. That's how we're putting it down.
I had a donut in my last pick, and you didn't get mad about that.
I'm surprised he didn't say, hey,
you said a specific
this also
donut.
includes soccer. This also includes soccer fans.
Football.
Just so everyone knows, football includes all of it.
Guys, football is life.
Football is life.
I will say, all right, before I get too deep in the bullshit, I will say when I first wrote this down, what I was thinking of was sort of similar to Griffin's number 1 pick. I was sort of thinking of like just sitting and watching football like all day with friends, not the boys, with friends. So if I have to narrow it down, that's what I'm talking about, and not necessarily like tailgating, even though I love tailgating. That's what immediately came to my head. So all right, if we're gonna say I got to narrow it down, that's what I'm talking about.
You got to narrow it down.
I'm not going to force you to narrow it down, but I am going to just belittle you for your choice of pick. Even though it's essentially on my list twice because it's my number 1 pick and it's a big part of my number 4.
So this next pick, your number 2, was this your number 3 or was this always your number 2? And your 3 became your 1?
This was 2.
You know what? It doesn't matter. It's bullshit. So.
And it is 2, and it's bonfires. I think that fall is the perfect time to have a bonfire. I will take a bonfire in almost any season, but the problem with bonfires in the summer, too hot, too many mosquitoes, not the best. Winter can be okay, but sometimes it gets way too cold. Like I think this was very apparent during COVID, like when we couldn't be inside last winter. So everyone's just like, oh, let's have a bonfire at my house in January. And it's like, this is kind of miserable. Like it's not terrible, but it's not great. Fall, perfect time. S'mores, everything, bonfires, number 2.
I got zero pushback.
I also don't really have any pushback on this. I do want to tell you guys, when I was writing my list out, I originally had like 8 or 9. Number 6, and I was moving 5 and 6 back and forth because I wasn't super confident about it, and so I was copying and pasting. And so at one point on my list, number 5 was brewery trips with the boys, and number 6 was bonfires with the boys because I hadn't deleted the with the boys part of it because I was moving them around, and I thought about it a little bit more, and I was like, yeah, I don't think this one's gonna make my list. Also, make sure that when you if this comes up on the screen or anything like that, delete the with the boys part because bonfires with the boys just sounds like vaguely romantic. And
yeah,
I feel like your whole list could have just been the boys.
Almost always.
Favorite fall activities, the boys. Oh no, I don't love that. Yeah, pick. So great pick. Not great enough to make my top 5, so not that great. But I agree with you that it is the ideal season for a bonfire. Winter, too cold. Spring, gross and polleny. Summer, you've got some good nights for it, depending on where you are in summer.
Here's my thing about summer.
Like a bonfire on the beach.
That's
a summer activity. But a bonfire in someone's backyard or something like that, that's October, November, all the way.
I would say summer bonfire, you have to be on the beach. I mean, unless you're camping, you have to be on the beach.
Sure.
But even fall, you could still do a beach bonfire, in my opinion. The right beach, the right cover. I'm still into cover from the wind, like if it's a cove or whatever. But yeah, fall is the perfect time. You could do a bonfire anywhere in the fall, and it's enjoyable. Every other season has specific areas that make it better.
Yeah.
And just a fall note. Yep.
And just a side note before we get to my number 1, my ideal fall day includes all 4 of these 5 through 2. I mean, you can have fall beers with apple cider donuts while watching football outside and having a bonfire. That's a great day.
I've had
put it on the calendar, dude. I'll come home. Put it on the calendar. I will buy that flight.
Yeah. But let's get into my number 1, which is I wanted something that was foliage centered, like around seeing, what fall's all about is the leaves changing. And I went with hiking. So going for a hike in fall to see the leaves change, to see the foliage. It could be a strenuous hike or it could be a short hike. Just being out there in the fresh air, in the nice weather, early in the morning, just, going for a hike. Number 1.
Before Griffin comes in with woe is me, I can't see color. Leaves changing is pretty cool. It's happening right now around here.
I'm not going to pretend like that wasn't a factor in making this my number 1. I want
100% a factor.
Bad.
Yeah. All right. Look, hiking as a pick. I love it as a pick. Hiking in cool, morning weather. Great. Doing it to watch the foliage change, go fuck yourself. No, I'm hugely uninterested in that. And granted, yes, that is specific to me, but I'm sure a lot of people would be like, just say hiking. But
I feel like people specifically plan hiking trips around fall, like to Maine or anywhere. They're
Absolutely.
I thought that was a weather thing. Is that a foliage thing?
I think it's a little bit of both.
They're definitely on places people go for the foliage when it starts changing.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'll give my recap. Number 5 is Octoberfest. Number 4 is apple cider donuts. Number 3 is football. Number 2 is bonfires, and number 1 is hiking to see the foliage.
All right. You guys ready to sign off for the day since Thomas had preemptively told us that he would not be here for the pod at this point?
I told all the fans that when they see me waving to hit play again.
Oh yeah, they have it muted right now, so they're like, "Oh wait, okay."
gonna be? Yeah. We'll make sure we put timestamps. Honestly, to circle back to that point, it might make sense for us to put timestamps in. I don't really want to go to that work, but I'll do it.
Wait till we get ads.
You twisted my arm.
Okay. There's some crossover on my list for sure.
There's only like 10 fall activities, so yeah.
Number 5, much like Andrew's number 4, is not necessarily an activity, but it's hoodies. Fall is the perfect weather for hoodies, and if I can wear a hoodie and be active and be comfortable, as in not sweating, I'm there. I'm there. So hoodies, number 5.
I don't love that noise you made. I don't love that.
Hoodie. Okay. I mean, I like wearing hoodies too. My only issue with the pick is that I'm just trying to imagine it as an activity. Like you put on the hoodie and then instantly you're like, let's go. I feel so much better now. Like,
no, you're like, oh, I'm going out. Is it hot out? Oh, no, it's not. Oh, but it's not freezing. Oh, I want to be comfortable. Oh, I want to look good. Oh, put on a hoodie.
Okay.
This is way more energy than I expected.
A lot happened. Yeah. No, like I said, I'm not mad about it because I love wearing hoodies. So good. It's just my issue is just with the word activity. So yeah.
Okay, apple cider donuts.
Yeah, but I'm eating them.
Yeah, but did you say eating or did you just say
I'm
apple
wearing
cider
them?
donuts?
I'm wearing them.
Wearing is an activity.
You know what? Here, let me
maybe shopping for them.
My number 5 is hoodies, and what it encompasses is everything about hoodies: wearing them, sharing them, caring about them, washing them, shopping for them.
Okay,
I don't know, designing them.
Yeah, Griffin probably likes this pick. Griffin would probably like this pick if it was hoodies with the boys.
Yeah, I scratched that part out.
Well, of course. Why wouldn't you scratch that on your computer screen? That sucks for your screen. I
have a notebook.
That's true. You do have a notebook. You're a handwritten kind of guy. I do actually like this pick, not with the boys, weirdo. I had 8 or 9 original picks. I think 8, and it's not on my screen anymore, but I think it was 8 was sweater weather. So I'm on the same page as you. Love fall fashion is pretty great.
Yeah, I mean, I can wear a hoodie to work, and most days wear it the entire day and not be uncomfortable. I'm all for that.
It's a very comfy season, and it's
yeah, it really is. My number 4 is on someone else's list, but mine's not specifically college, though I get why that's fun. But tailgating, I love me a good tailgate. Bringing a grill to a parking lot with a bunch of other people there for the same reason, and like they see your burger, they're like, that looks good. You see their kielbasa, you're like, that looks good. You're like, little swappy swap. Tailgates are the best time. They're so much fun. Everyone loves everyone. It's great. Even if you're on the other team, you're gonna get bullied, but there's love behind it. Sometimes depends how drunk you are.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. I mean, the way you described the kielbasa and burger trade sounded a little gross. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because you said it. But
are you swapping kielbasas and burgers with the boys?
with the random boys, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
boys that you don't know.
The number of tailgates I've gone to, and someone's like, "Hey," like you just someone bumps into you, and you're like, "Oh, don't worry about it." Like, "Oh, good," and like, "Hey, you want a beer? Or you want a hot dog? You want a burger?" And it's like, "Yeah, sure." Like, it's just like it's such like everyone's there to have a good time.
Sharing is caring.
Where it's just like. Yeah, and everyone's wearing hoodies and like.
Oh yeah, people are feeling good. People are feeling generous and like, except if you're a Buffalo Bills fan, apparently, and in which case you're just jumping through tables.
Yeah, that's sure. That's fair. But
again, every one of them is just jumping through tables the entire time.
Just so many tables. Just
it's honestly
sacrifice for nothing.
Yeah.
I was going to ask what your top tailgate food is, but I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I know it's hot dogs.
Well, I mean, you say that. You say that it's hot dogs, but oftentimes when he talks about this stuff, the first thing he goes to is kielbasas. I don't know if that's because he likes saying kielbasa.
I think he likes the word.
But I think kielbasa might edge out hot dog for him, and he doesn't want to admit it because he's got a bit going.
No, I said last time, I was like, I don't.
You don't eat as many
hot dogs as much as I make it seem like I do. Maybe I used to.
Yeah.
But anyway, Number 3, also on some, actually, my number 4 was Griffin's number 1, and my number 3 is Andrew's number 1. It is hiking. Now I didn't specify the foliage, but I do enjoy that. What I did want to specify, because I like hiking all year round, is crunchy leaves, because there's something about stepping on just the right crunchy leaf that just shivers up the spine in a good way.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, that's one of the underrated pleasures of fall. And I could see you just like going off the trail for a mile, just like
100%.
following crunchy leaves, and then you get lost and I don't know, like attacked by a bear or something. I don't know.
As long as I get the crunch.
Yeah. I mean,
That seems like a candy slogan. As long as I get the crunch.
Yeah.
Like crunch bars.
We have the crunch bars. I can't push back on this because obviously I was like very much into it when it was Andrew's number 1 pick. I don't think I feel the same way about the crunchy leaves. I like a nice, like quiet, relaxing hike. The crunchy leaves definitely make it more of a noisy experience, but that's like such a minor pushback that I don't really care about it. Although I will say, and maybe this probably won't make it on a pet peeves list for me, but just a pet peeve right off the top. People that hike and they have like a speaker with them, or they just have their phone playing their music the entire time they're hiking, I actively root for them to fall into a
To
ravine.
never step on a crunchy leaf again.
I want them to have the worst time.
I think my new insult's going to be is I hope you never step on a crunchy leaf again, because I think that will hurt people to their soul. Because
You think so?
Not just hiking, but like walking on a sidewalk and like you see a leaf and it's just like gnawed up and you're like,
yep, I'm crunching that leaf.
And then you step on it and it's just like it's like the.
It sounds better than that. It sounds
so great.
Yeah, I can't do it. You're right. I can't do it.
I would love to listen to this as pure audio right now. It sounds so good. Do you actively while walking, do you search out leaves to step on?
I don't search out, but if I see it, I'm going out of my, like, if I'm walking straight and it's a step to the left or a 2-step, I'm taking those 2 steps.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I can honestly say that I have never once in my life felt that way. But I also
cannot see.
Went out of my way until I was probably like 22 to not step on lines and cracks, because, like, why risk it? Why risk potentially coming home and finding out that your mom's back is broken?
Fair.
My walking habits, they just might not be normal.
That's fair enough.
Undiagnosed OCD, it's fine.
All right, my number 2, and do a little something that I don't think's really been done before. There's gonna be a little listception here, because
shit,
gonna be a little list within a list, because I'm gonna tell you that my number 2 is apple picking. I'm gonna give you the 4 reasons why in the correct order.
Wow.
Number 4, I like apples. I don't want to go pick pumpkins. Fuck pumpkins. I'm going to pick apples. Granny Smiths are the best, but I like apples. Number 3, love me some apple cider. And when it's fresh from the orchard, even better. Number 2, I can't
Wait,
count.
you just said okay. Yeah.
Number three. It's the Griffin list.
I'm somewhere in between fit and fat. Some people would call me a fiat, but the fall is the perfect time for me to look good. And that goes with the hoodies, is that I look better now because my bulk doesn't look as fat because of the layers on me. So I just look good apple picking. I just do.
Wear black.
Am I tall?
Just wear black.
Am I tall? No, I'm not tall. So I can't get the high ones. That's fine. I can climb. I'm a good climber.
I feel
Anyway,
like this
one,
sub pick would have fit better with your sweatshirt pick, but okay, go ahead. With your hoodie pick. Sorry, go ahead.
We'll let you continue because we've clearly offended you.
My number 1, and Andrew, you appreciate this, is
not your actual number donuts. 1. Your number 1 reason for your number 2.
My number 1 within this list section is apple cider donuts, because they are just so good. And when they're and Griffin, you're right, like you can get them all the time now. But when you get them in the fall at the orchard, like from apples that some dude picked yesterday.
So can we just pause for a sec. Is your number 2 pick apple picking, or is your number 2 pick apple?
Picking. Apple picking. Apple
Because I
picking.
feel like it's apples.
No. Number 4 within my number 2 is apples. Because I want to specify.
Right. But I'm not apple pick and then be like, hey, make this into a donut.
I'm not going to anywhere to pick any fruit or squash or whatever. I'm there to pick apples.
I feel
squash
like
not a fruit.
I don't know.
I feel like you're not this like the category for this should be like apple orchard, like rather than apple, because it seems like apple picking is just one of the subsets. But it like just
I would also say it would be apple orchard or just apples.
Because like
apple orchard
because like apple picking, like because like apple cider donuts don't fit under apple picking. I understand it's the same. You're at the same place.
Them.
Unless you found you get them at the apple orchard.
You ever been to the orchard that hangs the donuts on the tree, so you have to pick them? Me neither.
No,
they should do that.
Is that where donuts come from?
They should do that.
Yeah. That's how you make donuts. If that were a part of apple picking, I would be full steam ahead on this pick. But I feel like the phrasing of the pick is where the confusion is.
Yeah,
but you were big into your fiat thing and your inception thing, so I'm gonna let you run with it.
I'm not gonna
let you make any weird like verbal puns because I hate them. I don't like when you do it. Fiat son of a bitch.
I'm gonna stop being nitpicky about the phrasing because this is a good pick overall for all the reasons you said. The fiat joke is really fucking good, and I hate that you said it. But it's
to differ.
It's good.
Finish your list so I can go scream.
My number 1, and we got so close to this not being said before, bonfires, because I do agree the fall is the best time for a bonfire, and there is just nothing like, there's things like it, but sitting around a fire, like sun's going down, it gets super dark, but it's not like scary, but it's like spooky. No, and it's a perfect temperature, like that time of year, fire around with boys and girls, everyone.
Well, now it sounds like you're talking about kids. You didn't say the boys and girls. You said boys and girls.
Anyway, bonfires with your friends this time of year are just superb.
Bonfires with the men and women.
Bonfires by yourself. Kind of sad, but it might be a good time.
It's not a bad time.
Yeah, like you're missing out on a big part of a bonfire, but nothing wrong with it. Yeah, great pick. I like I said, I'm not going to push back on this one. For most of your lists have already occurred, so I can't push back on them.
Yeah, that's fair.
I agree. I agree. So I feel like we've now come up with all of our picks the perfect fall day. So we'll have to we'll have to make that happen with the boys and the girls.
We go to a brewery in Hoodies. That's next to a stadium, so we can then go tailgating. From the tailgate, we go to an orchard and get cider and apples. Candy's waiting for us in the car, or maybe we get candy apples. I don't know. Let's not get crazy.
Ooh.
From the orchard, we're hiking. We're hiking to the bonfire spot. From there, we're probably so drunk and tired that we will not survive.
Yeah.
I was gonna say with the boys 100%. I was gonna say we got to bring a couch to the tailgate.
Oh shit, the couch. God damn it, Griffin.
An extra screen or something like that. Because if we're living on the couch, gotta have a couch at the tailgate. But
I feel like we used to have.
You said get done with the hike. Maybe you just watch the night game on your couch because you're too drunk and fat to do anything else. But,
didn't we used to have a couch at bonfires like in years ago? I feel like I remember having bonfires and there was a couch. I don't remember where.
I've been to
bonfires where they burn a couch.
Rachel Clark's house, maybe?
Burn a couch, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I've been to a bonfire with a couch.
We'll talk about this more, but we'll draw up the perfect fall day. It's happening.
Yeah.
I will say I'm a little bit surprised that I didn't hear anything Thanksgiving and I didn't hear anything Halloween focused for either of you. And that threw me for a little bit.
I really don't care about Halloween that much. And while I do love Thanksgiving and it happens in the fall, I guess I don't really think of it as a fall activity. Like it's its own entity.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I think the biggest pushback from people on our list is going to be that we didn't include anything Halloween or scary or Thanksgiving. And I agree with both you guys. I don't care.
No
about
one
Halloween.
said horror movies or anything.
Yeah, I don't care about Halloween stuff. I
By.
don't enjoy scary movies, so that would never make my list. And I did put one in my notes, like pumpkin pie and Thanksgiving food type stuff. But again, yeah, I feel like how Thomas feels, like that's its own thing. Like that's beyond.
And you would rather have apple themed foods and drinks than Thanksgiving themed, like pumpkin stuff. Seems like
yes. It depends. I mean, I'd rather have apple cider donuts over everything, but
pumpkin donuts.
I'm a huge pumpkin pie guy. So that was, I mean, like Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving Black Friday 2-day extravaganza almost made my list. But there's just too much involved in that it didn't feel like one activity.
Yeah.
Speaking of, next food list should be Thanksgiving food. So it's on record.
I'm about it. Let's do it. We'll get a guest on for that one.
Yeah.
So that somebody else can talk about food with us. All right. Great list from all around. I'd say I liked everybody's list. I do think
they are very similar.
They are similar, and like Andrew said, we will probably get some pushback from people that we didn't include anything horror or Halloween or anything like that, because it is how most people think of the season.
I'm a scared little bitch, so
yeah, scared bitches all around.
Being scared.
Like I said at the top of the show, if you're watching us on YouTube right now, make sure you click that subscribe button, click the like button. If our lists were similar to yours or different, make sure to leave a comment below. If you didn't like our picks, if you liked our picks, whatever. Make sure you send us your own picks as well. You can do it on Twitter, on Instagram, or on YouTube. And if you are watching us on your preferred podcast platform, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, whatever it is, make sure you click that follow button. If you have the option to rate and review us, please do. But no worries if your podcast does not offer that option. 5 stars would be very much preferred, but really just don't leave us anything. Yeah, understandable if you do have to leave something lower. If you think you're going to leave something lower, though, maybe don't leave a review. I don't know. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah.
Or maybe like leave a 5-star and then say something mean. That's fine.
Yeah. Still rate us 5, but
which I think is actually
can eviscerate us in the comments.
Everyone that has left a comment thus far has like definitely dropped in some like complissalts where they're like, "Oh man, these guys could talk about things for so long, but everything they talk about is so meaningless." So yeah, I like a review.
Yeah, they're like, it's really impressive how much they can waste their time on this.
Yeah, it's crazy that we listened to an entire episode or more. Also, if you are following us on Twitter, or if you're not currently following us on Twitter, make sure you go to @listnight after you listen to the episode and vote for your favorite list, because we put up voting every single week. And for whatever reason, it means a lot to us to win. I mean, it's a competition. We like to see who wins each week. So vote for your favorite one, and we will use it as bullying material for future weeks. That's it. Anybody else got anything? We good? All right. Happy fall.
We have the crunch.
We have the pizza.